winner of the 2022 Regional Edward R. Murrow Award for Excellence in Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for the Culture Club.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust. Serving Micronesia since 1938, Matson celebrating 25 years of commitment to Guam, Micronesia, and the CNMI. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, senators in the 36th Guam legislature put the Heartbeat Act, a bill banning abortions, up for a vote, along with several other measures. Lawmakers saying their goodbyes as several of them won't be returning in the new year. Plus, prosecutors now reviewing evidence in the deadly beating of a Dedito father. 2 brothers accused in the attack are facing murder-related charges. And criminals are keeping authorities busy into the holiday season. Guam's newly elected Attorney General speaking to the problem, and the governor saying more will be done to make people feel safer.
Howdy and good evening, everyone. I'm Nick Delgado. Welcome to Primetime. Great to have you ending your week here with us. Well, senators have passed the controversial anti-abortion bill known as the Guam Heartbeat Act. The measure by Senator Talina Nelson would ban abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected, typically within 6 weeks of pregnancy. Nestor Lecanto reports.
Bill number 291-36LS received 8 ayes, 7 nays. Bill number 291-36LS is passed by this body.
Senator Nelson's bill is patterned after a Texas law which also provides for civil lawsuits to be filed against anyone who aids or abets in an abortion once the fetal heartbeat is detected. Pro-choice advocates have described that particular provision as a bounty system, further polarizing what is already a very divisive issue. Voting yes on the bill were Sponsor Nelson and Senators Tony Atta, Frank Bloss Jr., Joanne Brown, Chris Duenas, James Moylan, Amanda Shelton, and Tello Taitagui. Voting no on the measure were Senators Tina Muñoz Barnes, Sabina Perez, Clint Rigel, Joe San Agustin, Therese Turlahi, and Mary Torres. Senator Jose Pito Turlahi, who voted in favor of moving the bill to the voting file earlier this week, abstained 3 times and was counted as a no vote. Pro-choice supporters were very critical of a vote on such a controversial measure during the last session of a lame duck legislature. Pro-life advocates had welcomed the vote, saying it was the duty and responsibility of legislators to act on a bill no matter when. There was overwhelming testimony during public hearings against the bill, and Governor Lou Leon Guerrero has vowed publicly to veto it. For KUAM News, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Overall, senators voted on a total of 21 bills. Well, there will be 6 senators who will not be returning in the new year. Jim Moylan is headed to Congress as the new delegate-elect. Clint Rigel and Mary Torres chose not to seek re-election. Jose Pito Turlahi did not make it for another term, and Talina Nelson ran unsuccessfully for Guam delegate. Same with Tony Atta for lieutenant governor. They all had the opportunity to say their formal farewells during extension of remarks at the close of session. Here's what 2 had to say.
It's been said that there is no greater challenge and no greater honor than to be in public service. Having served in office for 8 years in the legislature and in government for 7 years before that, I believe this to be true. But that honor is not found in what we say here. It is measured by what we do here. And I could not have done any of the nearly 40 laws that I authored without the commitment to bipartisanship.
It's been an honor of my life to serve the people of Guam for so many years. I was a young soldier, a father, a husband, and a friend to many, but most importantly, I was able to serve all the residents of Guam, and for that I am very, very thankful. Since my time in the legislature began, I've constantly looked for solutions that could help make Guam a better place. I've been relatively successful in passing legislations, but I've also co-sponsored many bills of significant importance to our island and our culture.
The 37th Guam legislature will be sworn in on January 3rd. In the crime beat, the Attorney General's prosecutors are now looking into how they will move forward in the homicide of 47-year-old Arno Narun. He's the father and husband who was badly beaten and deaded on Sunday by two drunken men. Narun died nearly 2 days after the attack after suffering from blunt force trauma to the head. AG spokesperson Carlina Charfras telling KUAM prosecutors will use the autopsy report to determine what to do next. No word yet how long that process will take. Brothers Brantley Wallaby and Jaron Wallaby are being investigated for the alleged attack and could now face murder-related charges. Do you feel safe, Guam? It's a question that continuously surfaces each time we see the spike in criminal activity and arrests. And in the new year, the newly elected AG and the administration will have to prove to the community that safety is truly a priority. Daniel Perez reports.
Crimes have been rampant this holiday season, from burglaries to random attacks, most of which, authorities say, were fueled by drugs or alcohol. Aware of the growing problem is Attorney General-elect Douglas Moylan. He spoke on the island's high crime rate and meth problem before the Rotary Club of Guam.
The idea is to punish the crime breakers, the law breakers, the meth addicts. I'm sorry, the AG's office isn't there to help them. The AG's office is there to protect you out there. The meth addicts, as I keep saying, if you've ever been with the meth addicts, which I have as a defense attorney, they're not rational. You give them a piece of paper that says check in 3 times a week, you're lucky if they ever come back to court.
Moylan vowing to lead Guam into a safer tomorrow. He plans to work with both the legislature and judiciary to severely punish those who break the law. Governor Lou Leon Guerrero also aware the island hasn't felt safe.
We are working aggressively to strengthen and beef up our law enforcement. We're also working closely to making sure that we recruit our law enforcement and that we're visible out there working with the community. It's very unfortunate, but you know, with every society, crime will be there. Of course, my responsibility is to minimize and decrease that and make our people safe in their homes.
For now, we wait for January to see how the newly elected AG and the administration end up working together. Daniel Perez, KUAM News.
Thanks, Daniel. We have more news coming up. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Are you ready for more? Introducing GTA 5G. More speed. Experience fast 5G speeds while streaming video, gaming online, or downloading files. More reliable. Guam's most reliable network with more 5G coverage than the competitors. More value. All GTA postpaid wireless customers get 5G access for free. GTA 5G. 5G done right.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Howdy, folks. Nobody loves a Guam potluck more than I do. That's why I always bring my world-famous chicken, served any way you like it. Original recipe, extra crispy tenders, Kentucky Fried Wings, and more. All right. And nothing completes a meal like KFC's signature sides. Hot mashed potatoes with gravy, coleslaw, and a flaky biscuit. The world's favorite chicken, right here on the island, and only at KFC Guam. Whoops! Well, it is finger-looking good.
Welcome back. Amid a legislative inquiry into a CNMI program meant to boost the economy with federal funds, the governor's office releasing data showing how many applied and how much was awarded. Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia reports on the numbers.
A joint House Standing Committee began hearing testimony from those involved in the CNMI Boost program. BOOST stands for Building Optimism, Opportunities, and Stability Together. It provides financial assistance to local businesses and nonprofits through grants from the local government funded by American Rescue Plan funds. Ahead of the testimony on Friday from those involved at the CNMI Governor's Office, banks, and agencies, the government released some data about the program. More than 1,400 small businesses applied on Saipan, 204 on Tinian, and 100 on Rhoda. 62 nonprofits on Saipan, 4 on Tinian, and 2 on Rhoda applied. More than 1,700 on Saipan applied under their Fisher Farmer Rancher program, 258 on Tinian, and 411 from Rhoda. Overall, 4,227 people applied to BOOST, requesting more than $300 million. Ultimately, only 431 businesses received funding, totaling $10.5 million. The House Joint Committee says they're prepared to hold any official in contempt if they don't comply with their legislative subpoena to testify before them. Governor Ralph Torres has denied allegations of vote buying that were made before the November elections. Tomas Manglona for KUAM News.
Thanks, Tomas. Well, a 10-year-old girl battling severe plastic anemia, a disease in which the body fails to produce blood cells, gets her wish granted. Mitsuki Hirayama was there to witness this child's Christmas surprise.
A section of Westin Hotel reserved for one special Make-A-Wish child Thursday afternoon, complete with a table full of presents waiting to be opened. 10-year-old Chloe Jackla is excited, but not a single one is for Chloe. Her great-grandmother and legal guardian Marie Delphin says the presents are for Chloe's loved ones.
Chloe's wish in the beginning to the theme park, when she came here, her wish was to make sure that because it's the Christmas holiday, was to make sure that her brothers, her 2 brothers, and all her first cousins that she has, and the children at the church, New Life in Christ Fellowship, she would be able to give gifts to them. She also wants to give gifts to the children at the pediatric ward at KUAM Memorial, so we're going to try to see if we're able to do that as well.
Her wish possible through the Make-A-Wish Foundation Guam and CNMI chapter. The foundation making sure she also took home a gift of her own.
What did you want the most?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It's either the e-bike or the Nintendo Switch.
Behind Chloe's bright smile, her battle with severe aplastic anemia. It's a rare blood condition where the body stops producing new blood cells. She's gone through chemotherapy treatment and even had a bone marrow transplant.
But Chloe has been brave throughout this whole journey. We laugh, we cry. Even when she's suffering or in pain, she always has questions, and stuff. But overall, she was a happy person just to get over with all this, with her chemotherapy and her transplant itself.
Now Chloe is healing and happy to be with her loved ones. She even has a shout out to her 5th grade teacher at CL Taitano Elementary School.
Thank you, Ms. Fredo, for being an awesome teacher, and I'd like to shout out my classmates.
A shout out to ring in the holidays Chloe's way. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Mitsuki. Now to bring you more on United's fantasy flight, our Daniel Perez was there for this magical experience.
Christmas came early for 60 children and their parents as they dashed through the air to visit the North Pole.
I really am excited. This isn't my first time flying. I've actually flew to North Carolina once.
Thanks to United Airlines and their annual fantasy flight tradition, 5th grader Volcom Demapan can now add Santa's workshop to his list of travels.
So, have you been naughty or nice this year?
Nice.
He's worked hard all year long to get on Santa's nice list.
I've been listening and following directions.
Being good in hopes jolly old St. Nick brings him the one gift he wants the most.
I really hope for a piano because I want to learn how to play the piano.
This lucky group that got to meet Santa and his elves in the North Pole was Rainbows for All Children Guam, a peer support group for kids, teens, and adults going through a life crisis or experiencing a loss of a loved one close to them. United Airlines Managing Director for Airport Operations, Asia Pacific, Sam Shinohara, shared that last year's fantasy flight couldn't have the kids on the plane due to COVID restrictions, so this year they wanted to go all out.
Because we had such a great experience at the hangar last year, we dressed it up as the North Pole, so we're going to do that again this year. But the kids need to find a way to get to the North Pole, and so we are going to fly them up an airplane and take a little bit of a trip around the world back to the North Pole. We're going to land at our hangar and give them a special treat.
After a magical flight from Guam, the kids finally landed in the North Pole and were greeted by Santa's elves, performers from the Super American Circus, and even Justice League. They were also treated to a tasty McDonald's meal. Rainbows for All Children Guam Executive Director Marie Verada Holleran says they were both happy and overwhelmed to find out they were this year's recipients of the fantasy flight.
It's just amazing. I think that we have prayed hard for our children to deserve this wonderful experience. And some of them will probably never ever have a chance to fly. So I'm so happy for United Airlines for choosing us. It is an honor and it's a big accomplishment for us and for the kids.
Kids also got to meet Santa Claus himself and receive gifts from him personally. A celebration marking 8 years of United bringing this fantasy flight for children in Guam. Daniel Perez, KUAM News.
Thanks, Daniel. Now for a look at your world at home. Here's a view captured from the Garapan fishing base on Saipan. Clear skies and waters for the traditional canoe sailing in the distance there. This is Christmas in the Marianas. The Guam National Weather Service predicting this weekend will be breezy with some clouds in our skies and a 20% chance of spot showers.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Pinilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
When you're built for tailgating, you're built for winning. Winning at storage. Winning at parking. Winning at technology. Winning at comfort. Winning at winning.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
The JFK Islanders repeat as ESA Girls Basketball League champions after beating the Simon Sanchez Sharks 52-43. Jada Hahn finished the game with 12 points. Hannah Gogwe chipped in with 11. Layla Smart led the Islanders in the win with 13 points.
We held it down first quarter. Second quarter, we came a little short. Third quarter is where we lost it, really. But we came back in fourth quarter. We had a couple of our players in foul trouble, but we tried to do the best what we had.
From the start, since our freshman year with Jada, me, Alice, and Layla, we've been working hard for this. We wanted this since freshman year. And you know, coming from where we are to now is a very, big step for the Islanders program for basketball.
I feel really good. I'm super proud of my team. I couldn't have done it without them. We just came back. It was a rough start in the beginning, but we came back and we were able to get that win. Happy birthday, Kayla!
Former Dartmouth women's rugby team captain Allie Addis back home, sharing her collegiate experience. Allie brought coach Katie Dowdy to Guam to try and get some of her high school players recruited.
I really just wanted coach to come and see the Guam players here
and them to realize that the opportunities to play at a collegiate level are attainable. Like, they're able to go do it. I think that a lot of Guam players feel intimidated too, that we can't rise up to the level of rugby that they're playing or the level of physicality. Just putting your best foot forward and always being consistent with competition and with your play.
When I'm watching a game, I'm looking for a player that has any real point of difference. So, you know, Allie, when I saw Allie first play, I could tell she was really light on her feet, really evasive, a really smart playmaker, you know, and she filled that role for us at Dartmouth beautifully. But I'm also, you know, always looking for somebody who's like, wow, you're really an excellent finisher. You have outright speed, or you're more of a power player. You're really good in tight space and go forward and winning collisions, or you're just a workhorse, somebody who works really hard and wins possession for their team constantly. So I'm not just looking for one thing. I'm just looking for kind of like role players, people that are really good at that one thing on the field that can help put together a whole team.
Let's hear from our swimmers competing at the 16th FINA World Swimming Championships in Australia, courtesy of Regine Biscoe-Lee.
Thank you to my parents for supporting me and helping me get this far, for constantly encouraging me. Thank you to my friends for really helping me in practice and giving me a real reason to keep going and having fun. And most of all, thank you to my coaches who are back on Guam. They really got me this far, and I'm really thankful because of them, I was able to have this amazing experience.
Try hardest, even if you don't think you're gonna do good. Like today, I thought I was gonna add 5 seconds to my 200 fly time, but I ended up cutting 2 seconds. So, you know, in the end, if you've been working hard enough, then it's gonna come back to you, you know?
Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching me. Thank you to my coaches, my parents, all the people who have helped me. This is a crazy experience. Happy holidays.
Happy birthday, Mom. And I love you. Thank you for supporting me and letting me go on this trip. It's amazing. Pools are really nice. They have like 4 pools. I've never done that before. It's very nice here.
Now for some programming news. Monday, December 19th at 4 in the morning, NFL on CBS. The first game of a doubleheader for you. Kansas City Chiefs at Houston Texans. Keep it locked to KUAM TV 11 at 7:25 in the morning. More NFL on CBS. Game 2, the Cincinnati Bengals at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Keep it locked to the stations of KUAM and switch the channel over to KUAM TV 8 at 11:15 in the morning. Sunday night football, the New York Giants at the Washington Commanders.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
I can't make that amount work right now.
Mom, what is it? Can I get new basketball shoes?
We'll see.
Can I please have $20 for my field trip?
I don't know.
Can I go to my friend's house after school?
Anak, hindi pwede.
We're all trying our best to make ends meet. The governor's child care programs are helping businesses and working families care for Guam's kids. This ad is paid for with funds administered by the Department of Public Health and Social Services. Visit guamchildcare.com to apply today.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Feed Me Fridays is brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows.
Ho, 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 Hafiday. Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome to another edition, a special holiday one of Feed Me Fridays. Nick Delgado here from the KUAM News team. Well, we have to try another delicious drink provided to us from Island Girl. Also, thanks to Devondale for getting us in the mix here with it all. Peppermint Mocha Cold Brew. Let's try it out. Whoa, I'm feeling the holiday spirit in this one, guys. The chocolatiness, the mocha, the peppermint, not too much, not too little, just right. I know, little Goldilocks there reference, but it's just the right mood to get you feeling the Christmas spirit, feeling that holiday spirit, and get you out there while you get that shopping list, everything checked off, because you know that all of you are on the nice list? I think so. My favorite Christmas movie has to be Elf. Hilarious. Buddy the Elf, when he makes it out of the North Pole and goes into the mall and the department store, and he sees Santa Claus right there, and he freaks out in front of everyone, Santa! But then Santa, not a pretty nice guy, he says here, Santa, you stink. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa. I just always thought that scene and everything else in that entire movie had me cracking up and really just beefed up my spirits for the holiday season. My favorite Christmas song is This Christmas by Chris Brown. Hang on the mistletoe, I'm gonna get to know you better. Favorite Christmas memory has to be when I was always growing up as a child. I remember waking up Christmas Eve morning to the smell of breakfast and just Christmas music playing, my mom in the kitchen getting us ready for the day, and the gifts under the tree. It's just a memory that just is implanted in my brain, and I think about it every single day, and I try to instill that and do that now with my boys. Well guys, thanks for joining us for another holiday edition of Feed Me Fridays. We of course want to thank Island Girl for this peppermint mocha cold brew. Check it out. And Devondale for sprucing it up, of course. We'll see you next time. Happy holidays.
Feed Me Fridays is brought to you by Devondale, real milk from free grazing cows.
Now for a look at your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shout-out submitted on KUAM.com.
Friday, happy birthday wishes on December 16th to Haley and Abby Borja, who celebrate birthday number 18. Wow! Haley and Abby, we are wishing you all the happiness and joy that you both deserve. Love you, say Dad, Mom, and your entire familia. Damien Narcissus, your shout out says, you're legal, but FYI, soon you'll wish to be a teen once again. We love you to the moon, with all the love in the world, Grandma Nita and the entire family. Nikki Brianna Tenorio, happy birthday to you and God bless you today and always, your shout out says. We love you very much, says your entire family. We also celebrate Jarek Hernandez, who has blown out the candles this year and today. And to a wise, fine man, happy birthday, Jarek. We love you, says your family. Braxton Naroon, a happy 6th birthday to you. Mommy, Daddy, Lily Joy, and Kyra are sending you their very best. And happy birthday to Lance Martinez. Your sister and your entire family are very, very proud of you, and they are wishing you a happy Friday, a happy island weekend, but most especially, a happy birthday, Lance.
And Friday means it's time to announce the winner of a Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake.
All right, everybody, this week's winner of a yummy Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake is John Francis Bloss, who was born on December the 13th. John, we're going to reach out and let you and your family know how you can pick up your prize. Happy extended birthday again, and enjoy your sweet treat.
And we close out the week with another magical look at the holiday cheer being spread across the island. It's Must Love Christmas. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nick Delgado. Stay safe and good night.
Must Love Christmas, presented by Post 360 Federal Credit Union. Together we thrive.
KUAM News Hotspot is brought to you by
Pacific Points, Do More, Get More, and Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
The Menu, brought to you by King's Restaurant, always open, always local, and Ruby Tuesday Guam, home of the Fresh Garden Bar.
Off day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Hub. I'm Nestor Lecanto. This week, we're going to talk with our new Congressman-elect, two-term Guam Senator Jim Moylan. Two-term local Senator James Camacho Moylan is making the leap to the big house, the U.S. House of Representatives. He will be sworn in on January 3rd as just the sixth person to represent Guam in Congress and only the second Republican. Because of Guam's time difference, Moylan was celebrated by fellow Republicans in Washington as the first of what was supposed to be a red wave of GOP candidates who would overwhelm the House and take back the Senate. That big wave was more of a ripple, as heading into the 118th Congress, Democrats still control the Senate, and Republicans in the House have a much narrower majority than expected, 222 to 213. Also, the leading candidate to replace Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, Congressman Kevin McCarthy of California, faces an even slimmer margin. He needs 218 votes to win the speakership, but faces opposition from the right wing of his party. That means he may need some Democrat help to take the gavel. All right, and we're joined now by Congressman-elect Jim Moylan. Thanks for joining us, Jim.
Welcome, Huffaday Guam. Good to be home. Had some exciting last few weeks.
Absolutely. You've come a long way. Less than 4 years ago, you were sworn in as a Guam senator. In a few weeks, you're going to be sworn in as a U.S. Congressman. Has it sunk in yet?
It has not sunk in. Our office has been busy since the day after the election. We received a prior notification from Congress prior to the election to say, what's your email address and contact information? And then shortly thereafter, after the win, they contacted us and said, get out here by Monday. So the new member orientation started then. There were 74 new seats into Congress, which is the 118th Congress. So from that day forward, for that whole week, we were busy getting all our briefing books, manuals, and everything. So to answer your question, no, we've been so busy, it hasn't really sunk in. What has sunk in since it's December is this cold weather into your bones, but it's okay. I'm getting used to that.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the orientation process. What stood out for you?
So they do this for all the new senators that come on out. And there's a lot of history that goes about in these classes that they provide. It's called the Congressional Staff Academy. Some members, some new congressional seats there have prior legislative experience. Some have none at all. And what it really does, it shows what the Capitol does in services for Congress, all the support that they provide. Legal advice, IT advice, ethics advice, federal guidance on employees, from A to Z to run your office properly, to even set it up correctly to your office in DC and your district office as well. So they just take their time. They give you, as I mentioned, all these different books. They provide you with your laptop, your notebook, and your cell phone also. And they give you the threat briefings, the intelligence briefings, the PSYOP briefings, and so forth. It's so much information. But at the end of the day, they're also letting you know, we know it's a lot to absorb. However, you just need to know we're only a phone call away or a click away, and this is how you get to us. So it's an introduction to that, which I think is very helpful. I think that will be a great also for the Guam legislature to emulate, to copy something like that as well. A new member orientation for the 37th Guam legislature, I think I believe would be very helpful. But I'm excited, and the main goal that these training sessions happen is because they want you to get to work on January 3rd after you swear in. So
get right, hit the ground running. Have you had a chance to meet with the gentleman you're replacing, Congressman Michael St. Nicholas? Because I know you had a pretty close relation with Congressman St. Nicholas even during your campaign.
Yes, we have, and his staff also, to ensure that the transition happens, and that it is. And we have a few phone calls also while he was visiting Guam and in DC too. But his staff has been assisting us to move things forward. Not only Congressman Mike St. Nicholas, but also Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo, who called me the day after the win here on Guam, and she says, Jim, I want you to meet my friend Joe Wilson, Congressman Joe Wilson. He's on the Armed Services Committee, right? You need to meet him, and he's going to introduce you to a whole bunch of people. I did meet him and had several days with him. And as we're going down the tunnels in DC and going to our briefings at the auditoriums, he's introducing me to many senior congressional folks, and which is important to get a good word in. So when you ask to be part of those committees that you really want to be with for the island of Guam, they already had a warm introduction. You're not somebody just off the street, but you're somebody who knows Joe Wilson. So that is very, very helpful.
And Joe Wilson, for those who may not know, is a Republican congressman, and he's famous for shouting out that you lie during an Obama speech in the Congress, right?
He is a character, and he got me into the session where the speaker, Nancy Pelosi, was giving her farewell speech. I was just a couple of seats away from that to observe part of history being made. And one thing the Academy also shared with us, there's less than 11,500 folks that have held the seat in the US Congress. So though our country is owed, our nation is owed, still the amount of folks that held this seat is a small portion compared to the population of the United States of America. So what an honor, and that I'm privileged to serve the island of Guam.
Absolutely. We've got to take a short break, but we'll definitely be back with more of our discussion with Congressman-elect Jim Moylan right after this.
Fast, fun, and easy. That's how your home Wi-Fi should be. So start with an internet plan that fits your budget. Introducing your home Wi-Fi starter pack, also known as WISP. Enjoy up to 25 megabits per second for as low as $35 a month. Plus, a free router with your...
Which was good for the Republican Party since the Republican for Guam won. And that made national headlines on CNN and Fox, and this CNN and Fox, and this TikTok and everything like that. So by the time I got to DC, they said, "Hey, you're the start. You're the red wave start." So we had great hope, right? We were excited. So I can't say it's dark red. It's a shade of red, but we are still in control. Speaker McCarthy, who we nominated in our meetings, and now we just had to get to session floor to have that official on the 3rd after we're sworn on in for that vote, should be our leader, right? And Kevin McCarthy. And that would take us, the important thing is when we have control, though a small margin, it's still control. So we're in charge of the committees. In my experience in the 35th and the 36th, if you're not in charge of the committees, you're minority. Yeah, good luck to you. Right? So that's the important part. And I think that's very helpful that Guam has a Republican representative so I can get into these committees with more seats available. Now that the Republicans are in control, we have more seats available for members of the Republican Party. So I still look at it as a win. I wish it was dark red, but it's not. And now it's up for us in the 118th Congress to perform at a level that the nation sees. We need more people like these guys in there. So that's where we had to shine during this time. And likewise, I plan to do a really good work on the first days coming on out of the gate here. And we've been making the relationships that are important for us to make that happen.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about the committees that you want to get on and the relationships that you want to establish. But you mentioned Speaker McCarthy, and you called him Speaker. But what I'm hearing out of Congress is that he might be challenged in terms of his speakership. There is a faction to the far right of the Republican Party that I understand is against him, and that he needs to kind of shore up his support before he actually does become speaker. And there's even some speculation that the speaker could come from outside of the political realm. Have you heard anything about that?
Yes, it's making the news, right? It's always exciting to hear any conflict going on, and especially with the Republican Party now taking over and having little issues too. But I can see that happening in either party. There's always somebody that thinks otherwise than the majority. I don't think the minority within the conversation of, if it's not Kevin McCarthy, who else would it be? I don't think it's that high as it seems, the media seems to put it out there. And I do believe the votes are still there. You want to go with the winning team, and if the majority is going for Kevin McCarthy, you don't want to be on the side that says, I didn't vote for you, because you want to get on your committees, right? You want to be on the winning team. So their voices were shared, their concern was shared, but overall, the party has selected Kevin McCarthy. Now we just need to get in there, and of course need the minorities vote too. And they likewise, they would see we had the power, and I still think he's a win, but of course you don't know until you finally that day. But yes, in the law, there's nothing to say that it has to be a member of Congress to be the speaker as well. Some of the history that's being shared, but that's kind of way out there for that to happen. And I don't see the Democrat Party looking at that to become true. I think Kevin McCarthy has the ability to negotiate with the minority party, and he seems to have done that well in several of our meetings and discussions that we had on different rules and regulations for our SOPs and how we're going to run the session during session times. So there's good conversation that I've been seeing from our Republican Party, and the lines go left and right in the auditorium, and as people come and speak on different amendments that they want to make to our rules, it's very interesting to see where they come from and how they present themselves. And what I'm hearing, and eventually, Nestor, when I'm on the air with you, I'll be saying you all. I don't know why everybody says you all over there. What is this you all?
Yeah, you're getting an early look at the House horse trading in Congress. Anything different than what you went through here in Guam?
The support is tremendous, and because this is the federal government's budget, and I wish the government of Guam, we should look at something. And I had tried in the 35th and the 36th to make Congress building employees permanent employees, not appointed by members of the Senate at that time, but just GG1 employees permanently there, and they can set up something similar to welcome new members to Guam Senate, right? This is so they can understand the rules, the Roberts rules, and we had that also in Congress and parliamentary procedures too. To understand the system is important, to understand the history is important for the nation, and likewise for our island as well. So these are some of the things I can probably share with the new legislatures that they may want to consider to make our Congress building here, their staff, permanent employees instead of being part of the minority or majority senators in-house, because it's very helpful.
You mentioned armed services as one of the committees that you want to get on, which is traditionally what the Guam delegate wants to get on because of our situation with the military here in Guam. Talk about why you want to get on that committee, and also what other committees you're interested in.
Well, we asked for the highest things, and it was appropriation with the military contracts. So of course, appropriation would be like our BBMR or OFB. It's where the money's at. And we know here on Guam, the next 10, 15 years, this buildup continues, and there's no place in the nation that so much money is being spent than there it is in Guam for the national defense of the island and for the nation as well. So for the federal government side, as a member of Congress, I'm the eyes, their eyes, right? And I can monitor, I can see how things are progressing. I had the ability living here to talk with Rear Admiral Benjamin Nicholson or the Brigadier General of the Air Force there, or Naval Hospital, whatever the situation, or if the administration has some issues, I can call it, we can have a meeting with the governor, or Senate has some questions, we can talk to the Senate as well. So in the door, and I'm prior service, so and Republican. So, you know, it just all makes total sense. So it will be very helpful for the senior members of Congress in charge of these committees, if they know they can trust their delegate to Guam, that why not put us there? And we can really communicate well. If not the Appropriations Committee, then Armed Services with, again, one of the subcommittee groups, which Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo was very helpful in introducing me to several members of that too. Homeland Security possibly as well, Agriculture possibly as well. And then you just go down from there. But we asked for some big committees. And a good selling point is that we were first out the door, again, announcing that Guam took a Republican seat that hasn't been held in the last 30 years by a Republican. And so it got us a little bit more recognition when we got to Guam, or when we got to DC. Hey, you're the guy, you're the first one out the door. He started it. And I go, yeah, and I go, what happened to the rest of you guys, man? Golly.
Yeah, you're only the second Republican actually delegate from Guam since General Ben Blas. So yeah, congratulations to you. I wanted to ask you, you were an active member of the Guam Chamber before you became a Guam senator, and the Chamber sends every year a committee from the, I think, Military Affairs Committee. I'm not sure exactly what the name is, but they go to Congress to lobby and to express Guam's, aspirations and relationship with the military. Are you going to rely heavily on your former colleagues from the Chamber and that committee specifically?
Yes. In fact, I believe Phil Santos from MATS's is now head of that committee. Yesterday, I had a meeting with Joe Arnett also. I believe they're looking at springtime. So we're coordinating it already, right? And my duty will be ensuring that those that they want to meet, that I can schedule those meetings for Chamber members to come on over, the Armed Services Committee from Guam Chambers to come on over and have those appointments made, in addition to whoever else I could recommend to them for them to meet. They'll also have meetings at the Pentagon as well. So they've been very helpful for the many years that the Guam Chamber has been doing this to ensure that the buildup is done properly and to build the economy of Guam. And yes, it's my, I told the Guam Chamber I'm looking forward to providing that assistance and walking them through. And of course, we want to ensure that the national defense budget includes territory of Guam. Right, so that's so big, and whatever issues that we're missing, and what the important part is that the Chamber, speaking for the business folks of Guam, and probably depending on the governor, most likely will be in favor of their stance, is showing that we have unity. And once we can bring that to the committees and the armed services, that the island has unity to accept responsible buildup, then we got a green light. And enforcing that with congressional duties, it's important. So I've already met with them, and I'm looking forward to making this happen.
All right, we've got to take another short break, but we'll be back with our discussion with Congressman-elect Jim Moylan right after this.
When you're built for tailgating, you're built for winning. Winning at storage. Winning at parking. Winning at technology. Winning at comfort. Winning at winning.
My name is Leonza Selvage, and I have a 4-year-old daughter who goes to lots of learning daycare. So with the rising cost of living, it helps tremendously with bills. I don't have to worry about paying for childcare services. Knowing that this program is offered to our people, most especially our children, I think something to definitely be grateful for. I learned about Programan Panilan from the mayor's offices here, and my initial reaction to the program, I was actually in disbelief that this program offered free childcare services to our people. I wanted to give my mom a break for a little bit, so when I found out about the program, I jumped right on it. I was relieved because childcare at no cost. I'm thankful for this program because I don't have to worry about an extra set of bills coming my way. I'm grateful to the governor, the lieutenant governor, everyone behind the scenes that made this happen.
Need help paying for childcare? Guam families can receive financial support through Programan Pinilan. Learn more and apply at guamchildcare.com.
All right, we are back from our break. Jim, I wanted to also ask you about dealing with the Biden administration, which will be still in power while you are in your first term. How will you deal with that situation? A Republican freshman congressman and the Democratic president of the United States and his administration.
Well, I think the Biden administration sees the importance. I don't believe there should be any cuts in the military buildup in Guam. The threat from China and North Korea and the protection of Taiwan is still important, I believe, to the current president. So I don't see cuts on that side. The Republican Party may be looking at other things on the size of the federal government too, which they always do, but cutting the military budget won't be happening on the Republican side as well. So I'm at least for our territory of Guam, I feel very confident that this will continue to go on as long as we have the support and the workers to complete the project in the time frame that's necessary. We may need to increase our workforce, and that's something I could assist with, because if we don't make these deadlines, we don't want to skip it. We don't want to miss that opportunity. But of course, I'm the president, sitting Democrat. I respectfully honor the one holding that seat. And I think the Republican Party, under the leadership of the proposed speaker, Kevin McCarthy, will be able to do that and work fairly and not cause any big ruckus. So I'll be focused on the island, and I think we'll be just fine with our Republican leadership.
As you've alluded to during this interview, the military buildup here is of key importance. What do you think Guam's geopolitical importance has it increased, and how can you leverage that?
The conversation is easier to have now with my new colleagues, and especially those senior members in these committees. The important part of the senior Republican members are now moving up in their authority within these committees, and Guam is already on their mind because they see the money flowing into Guam. Of course, we're hoping for a visit, and that's something we can look at down the line. But because of the Indo-Pacific region and the threat that we have here, our voice as a non-voting, or my voice as a non-voting delegate for the people of Guam, we have more of their ear, right? And they see the importance from the threats that we continue to receive from China and North Korea, and their increase in their military buildup, and what we must do to defend the nation, being Guam, part of the U.S. territory, and protecting the people of Guam. And that's what we had to build up. If not that, for sure, China would look at us in a different possibility of gaining access to us, which we will prevent. Because no matter what, our nation is freedom, right? Our island has our freedom. We want a better relationship with the United States, and that's my duty to do that. So I think it's advantageous for Guam to have a representative being Republican and the majority in Senate being Republican at this point in history. So I think we should be fine. I really believe so, and I'm really hoping, which I've already been working closely with different senior congressmen over there. For example, Amara Radawagan from America Samoa, right? And Joanne Colon from Puerto Rico, and Kalili from CNMI as well. Just opening that communications better with the territories. I need to go meet Virgin Islands and of course Washington D.C. as well, so we can have this unity as territories when we speak together in Congress, right? Yeah. And with unity, then we have a stronger voice.
I wanted to shift the discussion now to local issues. Your relationship with Governor Leon Guerrero. I mean, it's been very respectful, but often contentious. How do you plan to work with Governor Leon Guerrero now in your new position as the delegate?
Right. Okay. You froze there, Nestor? Okay, you're back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can hear you now. So my term in the 35th and the 36th Guam legislature, I was a minority senator, and it's our duty to, of course, raise our voices that we get our point across. My duty now as a delegate is one single person that I believe the island of Guam is saying, okay, you're Republican, that's fine, just get the job done, right? No matter who's in charge in the executive office. I reached out to the governor, and we had a conversation shortly after the election, and we each congratulated one another. And basically, I haven't had the opportunity to meet personally with her at this point, but we are scheduling a meeting to sit down, shake hands, and moving forward. So I shall work with the governor, and I feel the confidence from the governor working with me, as well as the lieutenant governor and her cabinet, her staff. Right, I need to know from the staff and the clearinghouses which grants and where the money they need to increase, or how I can be their voice in DC to go to these departments and say thank you, or to say, hey, can you speed it up over there to your federal guys? We need this help over here. I would like to have also the ability, as these directors come out for their meetings, let's say it's for labor, let's say it's DPW, whoever the directors coming on out, and meeting with their federal counterpart, to sit down with them too, as initially in their meeting, to show the federal government that their congressperson is also involved with the directors appointed by the governor. So the more unity they see we have within our island, I think the more helpful they will be, to include, like, give a box of Guam chocolate macadamia nuts to say thank you for the